So I've arrived at Hadley Park campsite. I've got the tent just ready to pitch up. So let's get to that. Well, so we're about 10 minutes away from the actual site of Alderford Lake where it's taking place tomorrow. So you can register the day before. I think to save extra time in the morning, we'll go and register now because I think my start time's been brought forward as well to 7 a.m, which is why I decided to come up the day before.
I think there was another one over here.
Oh, thank you. Thanks.
Good luck tomorrow.
Thanks. Try and shut them out. So we've got the pack, from registration. We've got a white cap, some safety pins for the number later, a green cap, which is my official race cap, I suppose. Some instructions on where to put the stickers, bike stickers and the helmet stickers. Something to do with the timing chip as well. I can't find the stickers actually. We've got a little leaflet promoting all their other events that they do through UK Triathlon. We've got this, I don't really know what flaxseed is, but a little packet of flaxseed. Yeah, not really sure what that is. But I recognise this. This is porridge. I like this. Really like that. Usually put a bit of golden syrup with my porridge when I do it. A High Five energy gel. This is the orange aqua. High Five energy bar, berry flavour. I've had one of these before from these same people. The timing chip strap and my timing chip number 231. And here we have the race numbers for me. So I want to go on the back on the bike and the front of my t-shirt, although I've got what I'm going to use as a race belt. Oh, here we go. The stickers for the bike. So number 231, one on the helmet and one on the bike. Thunder boxes. Look through here. He's done it before, he knows it fits, but I'm not guiding him. To the end of the run course. I think that's where you come out the swim. I remember running up and down there a few times, a couple of years back. Well, that says run. So here we are. Things ain't going too well to start with, although we're fed, we're watered, 12 pack in the car, just been, we're registered, checked in, wasps around your face and your eyes there, that's inside the sort of registration area, and found out there was actually camping for the triathlon. So I could have avoided all this in the early get up in the morning, camped actually on the triathlon place, and I've been there ready to finish afterwards. As I've now had some food, I thought it was a wise move to quick pop to the loo and then get into the tent and try and settle down for the night and try and get as much sleep as I can. I'll have a lay down in here for a bit. So I came out of the swim. I put the stats up from the Garmin watch. Although I had issues with the swim, the timing chip kept coming loose on my ankle. So you have to wear them on your left ankle. Got around the first lap, it was just flopping around. It was just being awkward. So what I needed to do was just stop, because the charge, if you lose that, and if it comes off in a lake, you're not going to find it. And as it turns out, it's a really good job I stopped to make sure of this. because at the end of the race, I looked at the timing screen and it said I did my 1500 metre lake swim in 1 minute 13 seconds. Now, you know I said I picked up a green hat and a white hat? Little did I realise that I was swimming with the under 39s group. So the young ones, the youngsters, the fit ones. So realistically, certainly in that group, I'd expect to be last out the water. Here's the thing, I wasn't. I say, even with the timing chip, where I remember they're saying there's a buoy towards the side of the lake, you can just completely ignore that one. It's just there to mark out this is a shallow area, so you don't really want to be swimming over there. So I went over there, there was a canoeist safety crew there, and they wanted to ask if it helps. I just quickly explained while I was swimming what the issue was, and I'm just going to go and stop, stand, pulled my leg up, attached the timing chip a bit more securely, pulled my wetsuit legs down a bit so it went over the top of it, which shouldn't do because it actually stopped the chip transmitting to the timing map, which I completely forgot about in all that mess. We went round and we got out the water in, would be about 46 minutes for, I reckon I probably swam about a mile. But the time when I did my timing chip, my watch thought I was in transition, I'd got out and stopped swimming. I suppose technically if it sees me stop swimming and sees me standing up, doing that sort of stuff, you could be pulling your wetsuit off. I didn't want it to do automatic transitions. For some reason, I forgot to turn it off, so it was doing it. Yeah, so out the swim, the next wave had just started, which I believe when I looked and seen they're all in green caps, it suddenly triggered there, and that's when I should have started. So I didn't have the mad panic and rush so much in the morning, as much as I thought. I could have thought a bit better and put my bike in transition, which was just a free-for-all transition, you know, just racking any available space. So in such a rush, I've racked at the nearest space. If I was thinking it through, I'd have gone to the far end. There's less time walking and running with your bike, because the bike in and bike out was both at one far end. So I will have lost a bit of time on that. Yeah, everything was soaking wet, towel, everything. It'd been raining while we were in the lake, so everything was soaked. Because it was like a drizzle. It was just wetting everywhere, but it wasn't driving rain. Wind was negligible, if any. No real sort of a breeze. And put on a cycling top. Tried to sort of dry off our feet with a towel as best we could, and headed out onto the bike. Went over the bike mount line. You're then cycling on grass, bubbly grass, a bit like what we've got here. It's sort of short, it's not long, but it's up and down and bobbly. Because of that, the bottle fell out, a Lucozade bottle I put on there. Stopped, picked it up, put it back in. It just fell straight through. So I thought, right, let's give up on that. Just handed it to a sort of volunteer marshal that was just on the point where you enter the road. He says I might pick it up later. I completely forgot. Well, I wasn't going to stop on the middle lap. And then went on. So I was number 231. We seen plenty of bikes going past us, but there was number 31 ahead of us. And occasionally I closed up to him. And then there was number 131 as well, just ahead of him, that we both sort of closed up to. And on the second lap, he bent down to pick his bottle up, and I thought he goes really slow when he does that. I just went for it, just put everything into it. The only issue I had really with the bike, because I was using big boy clipped-in pedals, which means I ain't coming out, was chain falling off just just as we were coming back into transition. So yeah, where the chain fell off was on the sort of the driveway back into Alderford Lake. It was almost opposite where the bottle fell out, but that was on the grass. So they keep you on one side of the drive so that cars can still come in and out of the place, because there are other events going on there as well. It's not just for us, and there's different waves going, so there's people coming in at different times. And I was pleasantly surprised with the bike, considering it was out on open roads. I mean, some of the fast guys going by, there was one bit where you're going down a bit of a hill and you could see the uphill on the other side, but you couldn't see the bit at the bottom. And you sort of put a bit more effort into just going that downhill, try and carry as much speed as you can up that hill on the other side. And then when you get down to the bottom, you realise it's a junction and you're turning off left. Now the fast guys that are really racing this, they're on the opposite side of the road, almost in the curb on the right hand side to take this left hand turn. And around the corner it's probably the worst bit of road on the whole course. And then you go into a sort of join the bypass and the dual carriageway. It was all left turns, so you never had to cross any traffic. But you did have some junctions where you did have to give way to the main road. And I almost had to stop at one point. Really slowed down, and it's like, I just don't want to stop because I've got to try and unclip. And to be honest, half of the last lap, all I was thinking is like, my legs are just jelly. I'm not going to be able to unclip on the move. But like I say, chain killer came off as I turned into the driveway, trying to change to an easier gear so I could whiz the pedals round, and I sort of made my mind up. Unclipped there, just kept on the pedals until it stopped rolling, got off, walked. I was already unclipped, you see, so it wasn't so bad. Done like half the job. And everyone's going, oh, the dismount lights up there, get on. Chains fell off. There's no much point in me just mounting the chain back on my bike just to go, well, see where the dip is there. You're talking probably twice that, so maybe 100 metres. Then have to get off and push the bike, walk with the bike anyway, or run with the bike. Yeah, that wasn't going to happen very much. So yeah, back in transition and then onto the run. Set off reasonably paced, bearing in mind I've only done 10k once in I don't know how many years, and that was 2 weeks ago when I hurt my ankle. So yeah, the preparation wasn't great. Yeah, 4 laps, it's a sort of, how can I describe it? 2 circles joined by a line, so pretty much an out and back with a loop at both ends. And I had to do 4 laps for my distance. Some were only having to do 1, some were doing 2. But yeah, I'd signed up for the Olympic distance, and yeah, I got my medal. They said go up on the stage, get your medal. They checked on me because I was absolutely beat.
And of course, Philip Straight, you are a finisher.
Yes, I could have gone further, could have gone faster. Not really, because it's right saying putting everything into it, but when you've got a tent to now take down, a 3-4 hour car journey home. Yeah, Google Maps says you can do it in about 2 and a bit hours, but realistically it's M6 traffic, and yes, there was plenty of stop-starting traffic on the way back, so that didn't go to plan. But we got the medal, we did it. Bike time was quicker than I hoped for. Run time was probably just a little bit slower than what I'd hoped for if I was doing a straight up 10k run. I'll go by the official times. I mean, I was recording them on my watch. Use the bike computer for navigation on the bike. in the week after, I will possibly go for a walk Monday morning. I'm planning to go on a bike ride with a new group that I've sort of joined called U3A, which apparently is the Universities of the Third Age. I've been on one ride with the faster group. This is just the everyone group, if you like, and they're split into two. I'll probably go with the slow one because I only want a gentle ride. Put a lot into that, and maybe a run in the week and a swim in the week. Tomorrow I'm marshalling in the water and on the run course for the On the Edge Do 3 Triathlon. They run a middle distance, they run a sprint distance, and for next year I believe there's an aquabike option. So I'll put in the description a link to the website. So I'll be helping people in and out of the water, and then I've got to try and get changed, find the spot on the run course. I've got to keep a gate closed because there's animals, livestock, sheep in the field. It's a trail run, but then obviously I've got to open it to let the competitors and the runners through. So yeah, it's another early morning start when I get home for that one the next day, and then I'm just going to rest, recover, and think really about what's next.